On the 16th of July 2019, we are going to have a full moon in the zodiac sign of Capricorn. The full moon in the zodiac sign of Capricorn is going to be very special indeed, because it is going to reflect on every single one of us in a very particular way. When I say that it is going to reflect on every single one of us in a very particular way, I mean that it's going to be very significant, because it's going to bring us a really wonderful deepness. It is going to bring us a really wonderful mystery. It is going to bring us a really wonderful dimension. It is going to bring us the whole new energy, and this in itself is just going to obviously become a really wonderful, beautiful vibration. But the way this is going to unfold, and the way this is going to happen, and the way this is going to influence every single one of us is going to be very interesting indeed, because it is going to reflect on us and on our particular spiritual journeys. But this is going to be very deep, and this is going to be very strong, and it is going to kind of bring lots of like adventurous feelings in us, lots of adventurous feeling within us. And also it is going to be absolutely wonderful, beautiful time to try to rediscover and try to discover ourselves by being really like very adventurous indeed, and by also trying to focus on those things in our lives that we kind of like had we had thoughts about, especially in the last 24 months. This is so important to try to pay attention what we were thinking about, what we were focusing on, what we wanted to do, what we wanted to achieve in the last 24 months. This is so important, because the bottom line of this reading, and the bottom line of why am I getting so excited and why am I getting so ecstatic right now, is because we are all going to be once again provided with an absolutely wonderful opportunity, an absolutely wonderful option, an absolutely wonderful realization when it comes to all those things that we have been focusing, okay? And this is so important, because the 16th of July, it is just going to give us an opportunity, because the vibration is just going to be right, the energy is just going to be right, okay? And also it is going to happen in such a way where it's going to be very tricky indeed, because Capricorn is a very strong zodiac sign. Capricorn is a very powerful, Capricorn is very deep, Capricorn is a very spiritual, Capricorn is a very mystic, Capricorn is like when it comes to these things, very deep, like a Scorpio, deep like a Pisces, which is going to reflect on us in such a way. And it is going to be like a little bit, like a tiny little bit tricky, because I say tricky because with the energies, when it comes to the burst of energy, when it comes to the actual balance, it's going to be very tricky, because it is going to kind of we're going to be drawn into this like a very interesting and powerful dimension. And when I say like the 16th of July, it's going to be very powerful indeed, because this is the actual day of the actual full moon in the zodiac sign of Capricorn. But it is just, if you're watching my videos, you will know that the energy of the actual full moon is the most powerful 3 days before. On the actual day, of course, the most strong and the most powerful, and 3 days later. So you still have, or we still have, this particular 6 days to actually play with this wonderful energy, to play with this wonderful vibration. But just like 3 days earlier, it's already going to start being very mystic. It's already going to start to be very like a deep. The energy is going to be very interesting, and it is going to confuse lots of people. When I say it's going to confuse lots of people, and when I mentioned before that the energy is very deep, like similar to Scorpio and Pisces, what is going to happen, and what this full moon energy is going to happen in order like to kind of set us on this particular journey, in order to help us with our own start, in order to sharpen us up a little bit. We're just going to have to dig in a little bit. We're going to have to dive in a little bit, dive into our emotions, dive into our energy, dive into our vibration, dive into our own power, okay? This is very significant. When we start diving in like at around 3 days earlier, listen to me very carefully, my babies, when we start to diving in, okay, this is very important, because at the same time we're going to dive into our emotions, and it's going to be deep. The result is going to be very deep. The result is going to be very significant. The result is going to be very emotional, but in a good way, because what is going to happen, we're going to go as deep as we haven't been in the last 24 to 36 months, very strong, and especially the last 24 months. Remember what I said. This deepness is going to be very significant, and this deepness is going to take us somewhere completely different. This is exactly what we all need, because we, at the time that happens, when that happens, it's also going to be the very interesting and very important start of something very special. We are going to go as deep as possible. We are going to go as far as possible, okay? And this is the moment, this is the time, because as we are diving deeper within ourselves, we are also at the same time having a beautiful torch, okay? Beautiful torch with a fire. And this is just at the same time, this beautiful torch is also going to highlight all those areas of our lives, okay, that have been very significant for the last 24 months in particular. And when I say the last 24 months in particular, this means that there is going to this is karmically going to be very strong. Our spiritual journey is going to be very highlighted, very indeed, which means that this is the moment, this is the time when we will be able to connect to ourselves in the deepest possible way, because Capricorn is very deep, Capricorn is very powerful, and this Capricorn energy is going to do to us just that. Now, this is going to confuse many of us. This is going to confuse lots of us. We must not just go and go with this particular flow without just kind of using our power of our mind, without using, the power of optimism, without focusing on things at the same time, and without realizing that this is an important moment in time. So it's going to affect us oh God, deep, unusual, mysterious, powerful, different dimension, maybe a little bit draining, but this is exactly what it needs to happen. This is exactly what the direction is, what this vibration is going to bring us. So it's going to be a little bit of a shaky, and shaky is going to happen in such a way as we are going to dive deep, and this is the moment in time I need to pay attention. I need you to pay attention, because this is the moment in time when we are also at the same time we are rejuvenating ourselves, okay? And that's the beginning of rejuvenation. And as more low we feel, the more powerful we are going to be later on. As more low we feel, the more powerful and the more vibrant we are going to be later on. And as more low we feel, and the negative we feel at the time, this is going to be so much better later on. It is all about these particular energies, about these particular vibrations, and about the actual yin yang. It's absolutely brilliant, because it's the moment that as well, what else I was going to say, whatever we pay attention to, whatever we want to achieve, whatever we want to manifest, this is an important moment in time, because as I said, as lower, and when I say as lower we go, as lower we feel, I mean that when I say lower, I'm not saying necessarily really bad or horrible, no, just the deep energies, I say lower, and when I say lower, I mean not completely low, I mean a deep energy, which is energies which are going to make us feel oh my God, very deep, very emotional, very sensitive, very oh my God, feel a little bit different, oh no, strange dimension. It's very similar to the Scorpio, for example, new moon in Scorpio can be like that sometimes, you see. It's just because this energy is just going to take us somewhere else, but this is brilliant, this is wonderful, because it is going to help us to meet with our different self, to meet with our psychic self, to meet with our spiritual self, or also at the same time to meet with our spiritual guides, to meet with our spirit guides, with our guardian angels. It is all going to make sense. And as more deeper we are, as more low, as more emotional we feel, as more confused with him we feel, this is also at the same time going to make us feel to explore different possibilities. We're going to feel very explorative, okay? It's also at the same time going to make us feel a little bit different. It is going to at the same time make us feel oh my God, maybe a little bit a little bit confused. But just remember that this is the power, this is the energy. The Capricorn is a really wonderful, beautiful, very ambitious and very powerful sign indeed. Capricorn has got a very strong and powerful energy, the power of mind, the power of the actual manifestation. And in order, this is a very strong energy, and this is sometimes this energy until it just kind of turn itself around, this is how it goes. And it's just going to help us to go with this flow, to go as far as we can, to illuminate as much as we can about our life, and as much as we can about our past, and especially in the past 24 months, what was happening, what the ideas we had, what problems we have to think about, what things we have to work on. This is a very strong time, because this is not going to come out of the blue. This is not going to happen out of the blue. This is not going to manifest out of the blue. No, no, no. It is all connected, and it's a very strong. Capricorn is a pretty much connected to your spiritual journey, to your spirit guides and things like that. So those things that are going to be on your mind, okay, within these 6 to 7 days, those things that are going to be in your mind, those things that you're going to be focusing on, those things that you're thinking about, those things that become part of your spiritual journey, those are the things that are going to be really powerful and really important to pay attention to, like there is no tomorrow, because this is coming from someone very special. This is coming from someone very, very deep, from the furthest part of your subconscious mind, from the furthest part of your hermit moment point. That was the most significant, one of the most significant points that you had in the last, you could have had in the last 24 to 36 months. It's very important, because things that need to be highlighted, that are connected to your spiritual journey, that you need to pay attention to, you will know of. And there are lots of us are going to be literally surprised indeed, because what is going to happen, suddenly you're going to start feeling, oh, I need to do this, I want to do this, I want to go there, I want to go there, I want to work on that, or I want to talk to him, oh no, I didn't like him before, but I want to talk to him now. These are all the little things that are going to be a little bit confusing, but are also going to be so important, because as many surprises you have, as many situations unfold and happen that you wouldn't think that they would unfold in this way, this is going to be more interesting. And this is why am I saying that the full moon in Capricorn is just going to have absolutely fantastic impact on all of us. It is a brilliant, a brilliant time for those of us who maybe don't know what to do, those of us who are like maybe a little bit confused, for those of us who like kind of got stuck a little bit, or for those of us who are going through slow, for those of us who don't see any point, like if you get like a little bit like a depressed, a little bit like a low down, if you get a little bit low, and you don't see any optimism around, I say for those of us, because collectively, we are all one, we are all like pretty much so, we just have like every single one has got like a different spiritual journey, we are all part of this universe. On one hand, we are all one, we are part of this universe, we are just living our spiritual journey, towards our within our directions, within our spirituality, within our dimension, but on another hand, this is just going to be very important, because the bottom line is the full moon in Capricorn, it is going to it is going to rejuvenate us. This is the bottom line. By the time these 6 or 7 days finish, we are going to be completely rejuvenated, we are going to be completely rejuvenated, and this is going to be good. And that's why I'm saying it's more like, oh, weird we feel, over these 6 or 7 days, as more weird we feel, as more bizarre we feel, as more part of the different dimension we feel, as more spaced out we feel, that is actually going to be better, because at the same time you're cleansing yourself, at the same time you're rejuvenating yourself. So on one hand, the spiritual journey is just going to do its bit when it comes to your karma, and when it comes to point things out to you, and then on another hand, by the time we get to the end of this 6 or 7 days, there is going to be the whole new option that is going to become available for us, but again, the whole new opportunity and the whole new beginning. But the bottom line is that we went through this particular and very important rejuvenation that went through the deepest parts of us, went through the deepest parts of our spiritual journey, through the deepest parts of our spiritual about our spiritual journey and things like that. So this is going to be very important indeed. This is going to be very significant indeed. You see, it's the power. This is the power that we are going to have at around these 6 or 7 days. And although what is very important for me to say, this is ridiculously important, what I really like about this strange feeling, strange energy, strange vibration, strange dimension, what I mentioned, all this needs to happen in order for us to dig as much as we can. But what I find really extremely fascinating about the full moon in Capricorn is the fact that at the same time it keeps our head like really leveled, it keeps our head really sharp, it keeps our head really strong, it keeps our optimism really intact, it makes us really strong, but we don't realize this. And this is the tricky part, and this is what this card means, that all at at the end of all this, as I said, there is going to be a wonderful opportunity for every single one of us to really look forward to, but also it is going to be a wonderful time at the end of these 6 or 7 days for like some kind of negotiations, you know, to start something new, to start something important, you know, like to sign something like really significant, anything that could have, you know, that you can start, you know, it would be absolutely fantastic to start after this process, because there is a beautiful power, sharpness, and your mind is still going to be somewhere else. Your mind is still going to be super sharp indeed. And that's why I'm saying, you know, this is going to bring you this particular balance, the balance to make like absolutely mind-blowing decisions, okay? And it's very, very significant, and it's very powerful, and this is something that is just going to really wonderfully reflect on you. You see, this is a really, really good start, you know, a good card, but also at the same, you know, at the same time, what else I was going to say that is really important is that don't try to, what this also means, you know, at the same time, if you feel like weird, if you feel part of different dimension, if you feel part, oh my God, no, I can't go there, you know, like a little bit of weirdness, let me tell you a little secret. As weird you feel, that's better it's going to be. The weirder you feel, the more powerful you are. And this is the tricky situation, because Capricorn are so deep, they're so wonderful, they're so spiritual, they see this world with a slightly different eyes. You know, every single sign sees the world with their own eyes, so Capricorn does it as well. So that's why, but they're very smart, they're very clever, they're very powerful, they're very sharp. So this is the sharpness that is just going to really impact us so beautifully. So if you feel a little bit weird, if you feel low, you can't start something, you feel a little bit nervous, just remember that the Capricorn, you see, this is what it does to you. You will feel like this because you're borrowing some of the wonderful Capricorn energy. But on another hand, whatever you start, I was speaking about this before, don't feel nervous, don't be bad, don't feel negative or anything like that. Just remember, you are going through a very special part of your spiritual journey. This is a very special part of you, very special part when it comes to your karma, indeed. So you're guided by the sacred, you're guided by your God, you're guided by the spirit guides, you're guided by your angels. Don't you worry. All you need to do is just whatever you start, it's gonna be amazing. Whatever you start, it's gonna be mind-blowing. Whatever you begin, it's gonna be mind-blowing. Whichever decision you take, it's gonna be mind-blowing, because it's just gonna go so much further than it would normally go. Whatever negotiations you have, that will go really long way. So that's what I'm saying, because you're borrowing this vibration, you're borrowing this power, you're borrowing this energy. So if you feel low, that's absolutely natural. It doesn't matter, you know, you are going to feel like a part of the different dimension indeed. But the bottom line is, all you need to do is just start. Just start. If you need to talk to someone and you're nervous or something like that, and you feel like, oh no, it's not the right day, it's not the right time, you know, I'm not feeling right, just start, just go for it. If you want to apply for something, just go for it. If the more nervous you feel and the more scared you feel, that's the more sign for you to go on, more sign for you to go for it. This is the more sign for you that this is going to be very important and very optimistic for you indeed. There is the special power that you are going to have, but you may not realize necessarily, oh yeah, this is going to be like that. Just remember the little trick I'm telling you, so important to dig even deeper, to do it more specially, and to use your power. As more nervous you feel, as more negative you feel, all you need to do, you need to start the process. Start the process and you will be guided. It will go towards the wonderful direction, and it will go towards the absolutely most powerful completion. This is the radiance that you are going to have. This is the moment, this is your time going to be. This is the moment in time of rebirth, and most certainly there's the whole new focus that you are having, all new focus you are going to have, bright, without you even realizing. So you can feel the part of the God knows which dimension, but this means as more powerful you feel, as more like dimensional you feel, as more spaced out you feel, that is better going to be for you to start something new, to you to start where you wanted to start, for you to go towards the direction. You will see exactly what I mean. This is going to be a really important time indeed, and I'm absolutely super excited to actually say this to you, because this is going to be when it comes to the actual balance, you know, for whatever you want to sort out, when it comes to really doing big things, when it comes to your particular spiritual journey, you just absolutely go for it. And you see, this, it is the swift change. It is a very powerful energy. It is a very strong energy when it comes to like speeding things up, speeding processes up, you see. So work on those things that are very stale. Work on those things that didn't have much progress. Work on those things that didn't have much movements, and especially when it comes to relationships as well, when it comes to the family members, when it comes to the people around us, when it comes to our own success, when it comes to things that we are focusing on, things that we want to do, it's very important, because the power of these days, it's also going to give you the beautiful sharpness of energy that at the same time it's going to help you to like kind of deal with things, deal with problems, but at the same time it's going to resolve them and help them to resolve in the best possible way. Swift change, swift activity. It's also going to bring lots of bits and pieces that are wonderfully and beautifully going to surprise you. It is a very important time to actually start something new indeed. What else I was going to say, it's a brilliant time to discover and try to rediscover yourself by following the certain inspiration, by following certain inspirations that you are going to have. You need to look around, you need to see around what is actually inspiring you, because this is really important, but also like ridiculously important to mention that you need to look around what is inspiration of yours. What is making you feel optimistic, but at the same time, what is giving you wings? Do you know what I mean? At the same time, what is making you free? What is making you so happy? What is making you vavavoommish? What is making you excited? What is making you good? This is a very important time to find out, because the whole new inspiration, it's about to start here. And inspiration is going to come. Inspiration is going to happen. Inspiration is going to start through us feeling free. So that's why you need to pay attention what is making you feel this way. And also very important moment in time to speak to like people that are maybe above us, or anyone who is like some kind of leader, or anyone who can give us some kind of honor. It is an absolutely fantastic time, a great perfect time actually within these 6 days to 7 days to actually go and have a conversation with people that are above us, or the people that can actually help us to get from one stage onto another stage, because there are a couple of choices that are going to be around, couple of choices that are going to be new, couple of choices that are going to be the beginning, couple of choices that are going to be the start, that are going to be so much so very strongly connected to your particular journey. Whatever you do, whatever you're doing on daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis, this is going to be very significant, because most certainly 2 choices are going to be very sharp and very, very strong here. On another hand, it's a wonderful balance, to realize and to do like to try to pay attention, to look around, to and especially within within these 6 and 7 days, but especially right at the end of 6 and 7 days, on the 7th day, at around that time, to see what you can cut out of your body. Oh my god. Oh god. No! What can you cut out of your body? Oh my god, sorry. No, what can you cut out of your life, out of your spiritual journey? This is just, oh my god. Another important, ridiculously important thing is, whatever came to an end, you just need to make sure that you are you kind of cut out, that you make a little readjustment, you make a little adjustment, because I can't even explain enough how powerful, how fertile ground, how fertile energy it's actually going to be, especially when it comes to you, especially when it comes to us planting new seeds, starting new things, okay? Starting new things, but also it will need to come with a little bit of adjustment, readjustment. So it's just like basically like a cutting a certain part of the plant that came to an end. You take a scissors and it's dead, certain part of the plant, let's say flower, and then you cut it, and that part of the flower, and then the old energy goes, and then it allows the new beautiful energy to come through, and then the new energy comes through, push that plant, rejuvenate that plant, push that energy into that part that you've cut, and then the beautiful flower grows again. But if you didn't cut this part of the plant, then that flower wouldn't grow. And this is exactly what am I saying here. This is exactly how I wanted to describe this. It's so important indeed, because it is just the balance, absolutely mind-blowing balance. It's very strong. Oh my lord, it's going to be very strong. So that's why I'm saying it's just so important to make make a certain endings, to make sure that you're understanding where the endings are happening, where the endings are coming, where the endings are going to happen, and then you just act on them then and there. And it's a very significant, and for whichever ending you do, whichever ending you focus on, whichever ending you decide to cut, whichever ending you want to cut, whatever you decide to do, basically mid-November 2019, it's actually going to be the second stage of that. Just remember, mid-November 2019, it is going to be the second stage, the second step, the second dimension of this particular spiritual journey. So whatever you decide that you need to make a little adjustment and cut it out, this is exactly what is going to happen. So that's why I'm saying this is so this is going to be so amazing. And the reason why this is going to happen, because karmically it's going to be very strong time. Karmically this is going to be very significant, and you're just going to end up with so much more that you would normally end up with, because you're going to work with these powerful vibrations, you're going to work with these wonderful energies, and this is just going to take you so much further than it would normally take you. And that's why I'm saying this is going to be such a highly spiritual and important time, but it is going to reflect on us in so many different ways. But most certainly it is going to help us to dig that a little bit deeper, to dig that a little bit further. And not only we're going to be showered with this powerful energy, not only we're going to be guided by our spirit guides, not only we're going to be guided by angels, but this is just an amazing time to see and to look at our progress, you know, from our spiritual journey from a slightly different angle. But it's also the bravery that we are going to have, that it's actually going to not only open our eyes towards like a new directions, new inspiration, a new beginning, but it's also going to see and going to help us to see which part of our life is not that longer meant to be there anymore, because sometimes we end up with a certain part of our lives that is the direction that we came to an end with, but we didn't realize this because of the certain cloudness, and then it's preventing us to move on and receive and reach our full potential. So this is all about receiving our full potential and just making certain readjustments on our own particular spiritual journey. Okay, I'm so happy, and I was so excited actually to do this particular full moon reading when it comes to the zodiac sign of Capricorn, because I knew that this is going to be an important time. And the reason why is it going to be so strong, the reason why is it going to be so important as well, because it's happening in July. It's happening in July, and July is a very sacred month. It's a very powerful month, and it has got a number 7. July is the 7th month of the year. Number 7 is like one of the most powerful numbers, one of the most spiritual numbers, one of the strongest numbers when it comes to our connection with our spirit guides, connection with our angels, connection with our spiritual journey, but also about focusing on it, also about a certain creativity, also about certain discovery, rediscovery, inspiration and potential, and also the strong feeling from our subconscious mind, from our guardian angels and spirit guides, that this is something that we should definitely do, that this is something that we should definitely go for. Thank you ever so much for watching my videos. Sasha Bonasin, Psychic Medium. Love you all. Sending you brightest blessings, healing, love and light. Love you. Happy full moon in Capricorn.